Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, the banking industry has been in the news a lot lately. We'll be talking to the CFO of Texas Capital Bank just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you've been paying attention to the news the last couple of months, the banking industry has been making a lot of headlines, and often the headlines are negative and causing uncertainty. But we all know that the media doesn't always get it right, and sometimes they blow things out of proportion. To talk about that, Matt Scurlock, the CFO of Texas Capital Bank. Thanks for coming on the show.
Morning, Jeff.
Okay, so when you see those headlines, what do you think?
I think generally bank financials are somewhat difficult to navigate, Jeff. So I understand the rationale for folks inquiring about the relative safety and healthiness of the sector. Banks in general have more capital and liquidity today than they have in a very long time. Texas Capital Bank in particular, strategy is to be financially resilient, which means we can access markets, support our clients, and serve communities through all cycles. We generally carry industry-leading levels of capital and liquidity directly in anticipations of times just like this. We want to be able to step in and support our clients in particular as they have certain needs related to potentially buying their neighbor, borrowing to develop new products or services, or supporting their downstream clients as well.
And how do you separate yourself from others in the banking industry?
That's a great question, Jeff. So our mission is to be full service financial services firm in the state of Texas. We're trying to build the flagship enterprise in this state. So a little history on Texas Capital Bank is founded in the late 90s by a group of Texas business folks, really set up to serve specific needs of Texas-based businesses. The bank had an extraordinarily successful run for about 20 years, including going public in 2004. So we traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker TCBI. And then over the last 2 years have embarked on really a wholesale transformation of the strategy consistent with the evolving needs primarily of Texas-based businesses. So we've been able to reposition our entire expense base, our entire capital base to develop, really differentiate what we believe to be a very differentiated offering where we cover businesses primarily based on their needs and then are able to deliver a broad range of products and services to match up with that differentiated advice. So one of the things that really unique about us, we launched a broker-dealer. So we have an investment bank that we launched about a year ago. So that enables us to not just serve the traditional banking needs, but also help you handle any sort of capital markets needs or M&A and advisory services.
Sure, and I want to give you a chance to brag about your CEO because I've had a chance to meet him. The DBJ is a business partner of ours, and he was in our studio a couple of months ago. Tell me about your CEO.
Yeah, so Rob Holmes joined in January of 21. So long career at a very large global bank running a very large global business. But always had, I think, aspirations of building something special in the place where he grew up. So Rob said on his first earnings call, analyst asked predictably, why did you come to Texas Capital Bank? And he said, I came to build something special in the place where I grew up with people I believe in. And I think that really formed the foundation for our culture. It set a sense of confidence within our organization that we could go achieve something that others maybe didn't have the audacity to try to achieve. And I think Rob's experience across really all of our core products has enabled a product roadmap as well as sort of a sense of urgency with our frontline bankers to where we want to go sit across from the very best clients in this state and earn the right to be their bank.
Great. Your CEO was also on the floor of the NASDAQ not too long ago. Let's roll that tape.
Now, please join me in welcoming your president and CEO, Rob Holmes. Rob, come on up.
What a day. First, I'd like to start by thanking everybody that made it out to celebrate the founding and the launch of Texas Capital Securities. Now the wisest minds in the world don't have to leave Texas to go to Wall Street. The last 15 months has been a journey, and we recapped the bank, we rebuilt the infrastructure, we restructured it to have segments and industry verticals so we could be closer to our clients, be proactive with them, provide the solutions that they need, real time, all day. I want to thank everybody that's here today that kept us on this journey, the people in our technology team. We redid the strategy of technology. We built products and services, as were mentioned, and we're better for it. But what I really want to do is just take the time to say thank you. Thank you to all the employees that have been at Texas Capital for a long time, that embraced this journey and owned this new strategy. And I want to thank those that joined us and locked arms over the last 15 months and who will lock arms going forward for a long time to ensure the success of Texas Capital. So thank you for everybody being here today, and God bless Texas.
Thank you. So, Rob, we are so proud of our relationship with Texas Capital. So happy the stock is up today.
I wanted to buy.
I usually say the louder you clap and cheer, the more the stock goes up, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work today. But I know you're going to be back to celebrate more milestones, but this afternoon, very proud to present you and your team with our NASDAQ closing bell.
Thank you, sir.
You're
really
welcome.
Great.
Congratulations.
And any good bank is only as good as their team. I know you attract the best and the brightest. Talk about the STARS program.
Yeah, happy to talk about the STARS program. So foundational component of our strategy is that we want to be the employer of choice. So that really starts at the top. We talked a bit about Rob's pedigree, background, and vision, which resulted in our view, a management team that is quite experienced and certainly capable of setting forward on the strategy we've put out. But we're quite focused on developing the next generation of leaders at Texas Capital. And for us, the STARS program is a core component of that. So we recruit young adults. They're not kids, Jeff, you can't call them that. Recruit young adults out of primarily Texas-based institutions.
Sure.
We're really fortunate to live in Texas for a variety of reasons. We're the 9th largest economy in the world at this point. But we also have 11 Tier 1 or Tier 2 universities, many of which are within a few hours driving distance from the Metroplex. So we primarily recruit from those universities. We've hired up to 60 young adults. We put them through a program that includes training in commercial banking, training in investment banking, and training in treasury. And then we enable them to move into different parts of the bank to fulfill the areas that they're most interested in from their training programs. While we're headquartered in Dallas, we have offices in Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Fort Worth as well. So we distribute some of those stars out into the markets so they're able to support the growth with the teams that serve the clients in those areas.
We found a great video while we were preparing this show. Let's go ahead and roll that.
STARS program, what a great program that's been for the whole company. The bank loves having these young analysts being able to engage, provide new ideas, help us understand new technologies, the way that our clients want to consume. It's an incredibly valuable program for us and one that will certainly continue for a long time.
Our STARS program has one of the most diversified curriculums of any junior program in the country, whether it's credit risk, op risk, investment banking, treasury.
There are so many opportunities within a bank for you to grow in your career.
And you guys are the ones that the media turns to when they need a quote for different things. And I caught this headline. Let's put it up there, and I want you to kind of talk about that. Your bank is really being proactive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think being proactive is pretty core to the culture of the firm, Jeff. And as I mentioned earlier, we've really spent the last 2 years completely refreshing the balance sheet, investing really heavy in new products and services, adding an enormous amount of talent. So we basically, half of employees are either new or in new seats in the last 2 years, in anticipation that unexpected market events happen all the time. And the bank's role in a time like that is to be there not just for clients, but for clients that of potential prospects that we want to become clients. So there's a couple different paths that a commercial bank can take in a time of stress. The path that we chose was to be extraordinarily proactive. So the events at Silicon Valley Bank happened on a Friday. By that Sunday, we had the senior leaders of our firm on a call where we had basically a plan to go talk to all of our clients and then a plan to go talk to prospects that we hoped would become clients. And those calls weren't, hey, we're interested in your deposits or we want to make you a loan. Those calls were, as your bank, we want to be able to provide you advisory services during a time where you may need them. And I think a fundamental goal of ours, we've mentioned a few of them, we want to be the employer of choice. We want to earn the right to be the first call from our clients, and we want to operate from a position of financial resilience. And I think one of the ways you earn the right is you're just there for your clients all the time in uncertainty, during periods of uncertainty. And that's a great example where I hope we differentiated, and I hope that it accelerated our journey to being the flagship financial services firm in the state.
Absolutely, and I know philanthropy is a core value. We've got some pictures, and I want to put this up on the screen. Just you give a chance to talk about why the foundation is so important.
Yeah, so being a financially resilient bank means you have capacity to continue to invest into your community, which we believe is a core role of a publicly traded company, especially one that is focused on financial services. So we, at the end of last year, were able to see the Texas Capital Bank Foundation. So we made a $10 million donation, which will enable us to contribute based on our principles, which are live, lift, and learn. The views that you're showing on the screen bring back, I think, a lot of great memories for a good portion of our employee base who takes an enormous amount of pride on being able to step in and serve the causes that we collectively care about.
Yeah, and you guys are a big bank, but I think you have this kind of small town feel about you. At least I've had a chance to meet several members of your team, and they're very personable, and it doesn't feel like you're talking to this big New York bank.
I appreciate that. So, I mean, I think our view is that an economy as deep and as diverse as Texas deserves a bank founded and headquartered here that can do everything for the businesses that call this state home. That value proposition has certainly resonated with Texas-based bankers and Texas-based clients. But I think it's also enabled us to recruit folks from other states who really identify with some of the core values that we're trying to uphold as an institution. So we've had a pretty significant immigration of talent from California and specifically New York. And for us native Texans, it's been pretty great to see how quickly they try to adopt the state as their home, and we certainly welcome them.
I love it. You've been an amazing guest. We're going to end with the website, which is texascapitalbank.com. Matt, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.